We went into this game seeking revenge, and the mission was accomplished. We'll recap the win over the New York Giants, look at some Eagles news, and talk about who the newest Eagle is. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it. What's up, y'all, and welcome to Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network, the best network for all your Philadelphia sports needs. This is your host, Michael Roscoe. Going into this game, it was especially an emotional one for both fans and players, as they've had to deal with the backlash on their play and all the shit talk from Giants fans over the Week 6 loss to New York. However, the turntables have turned as the Eagles put up a 38-20 ass whooping on them in Week 8. Jalen Hurts would go 14 for 20 for 179 yards, 4 touchdowns in the air to 0 turnovers, and a 141.5 overall rating. Our run game showed the fuck up this time, but that was glad to see, with Saquon Barkley rushing for 150 yards on 14 carries along with a touchdown, as well as 1 in the air, and Tank Bigsby showing up out of nowhere, rushing for 104 yards. We're going to talk more about him later on. The pass game definitely excelled as tight end Dallas Goedert caught 2 touchdown passes, and wide receiver Jahan Dotson, in relief of A.J. Brown, had 1 catch for 40 yards and mossed the DB for the touchdown. Alright, y'all, let's take a look at the latest Eagles news. Starting things off, the Eagles make a couple of roster moves, with the first being cornerback Perry Nickerson getting released from the active roster, but then shortly re-signed back to the practice squad. But the biggest roster move over this past week came about Wednesday afternoon, as the Eagles traded wide receiver John Mechie and a 2027 6th-round pick to the New York Jets in exchange for cornerback Michael Carter II and a 2027 7th-round pick. Now, I think personally that from like a broad standpoint, this is a good move because Mechie, unfortunately, just really didn't have a role on this team once we got him, and we have another need at that corner position. Is it a Denzel Ward type of move like I had hoped for? No. But I can see how he's reasoning, which is I think that Carter brings a notable upside to the position. He's had a little bit of regression, but he's been an all-pro caliber corner. He's 26, and he seems like he's a guy who could fit into the Fangio system. Plus, he's got like 4.3 speed, and that is something you can't teach. Looking at his highlights specifically from this season so far, he gets good reads on receiver and is able to close the space pretty quickly between himself and a receiver. It's got some like Cooper DeJean-like capabilities, which makes sense because Michael Carter primarily plays in the slot. And this is where this makes this whole move interesting. I feel like Carter can be better than just a depth player for the slot position. And I feel like that would be his floor, with his ceiling being he's got a starting role. Now, if he shows some of that all-pro-like play with Philly, then we're not going to want him to be on the bench. So what would this mean for our defense? Well, some people think that he could fill in the slot, and that would end up shifting Cooper DeJean to the outside since we've had problems with the corner outside opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. But in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, Cooper DeJean plays best in the nickel, so they could try to shift Michael Carter to the outside, use this bye week to get some practice reps in at outside, see if that is a possibility that the defense could go with. It could be, but we just don't know yet. From a needs perspective, we get a player at a position of need, so that's a good move from Howie on that part. But from a performance perspective, that is yet to be determined. And in other news, during the Eagles game, Giants running back Cam Skattebo suffered a significant ankle injury during a play in which he was attempting to catch a pass while Eagles linebacker Zach Bond was attempting to make a play on the ball, followed by a tackle when he had thought Skattebo possibly caught the ball, which really any good defender would do in that scenario because you're going to try to keep making a play until the whistle blows or you see that ball hit the ground. But anyway, during that time on the landing, Skattebo's ankle gave out under the weight of that landing, and after the play, you could briefly see Skattebo's ankle clearly dislocated at a 90-degree angle with a little bit of bone coming out of it if you looked really closely, but it was just a horrible sight to see. Cam was put in an air cast and carted off the field, taken to a local hospital where he would undergo surgery to repair the dislocation, and I'm assuming there's a fracture in there. Like, that shit went through his leg. There's a fracture in there for sure. According to NFL Report's Ian Rappaport, Skattebo is expected to miss the remainder of the 2025 season. Now, this wasn't just any ordinary dislocated ankle. According to ESPN's Jordan Raanan, the star rookie running back suffered a compound or an open dislocation in which a bone broke through his fucking skin on the injury. Like, when I saw that shit, I fucking audibly gasped and was just repeating, "Oh, fuck," along with other expletives at the sight of that. Now, look, I despise the fucking Giants, but I admire Cam Skattebo's talent and heart for the game. I think he's a really fantastic player. Like, seeing him at the combine and his college highlights, I was thinking to myself, damn, this dude can fucking ball. I know we got Saquon, but adding him to the rotation wouldn't hurt at all. And then seeing how he's been performing since the beginning of the season, the dude is a fucking star in the making, and I say that after he put a fucking hat trick on my team. Now, last week, yes, did I make a comparison to him and Donnie from the Wild Thornberries? Yeah, but that was all in good joking banner. As NFL fans, we all joke around. Maybe when emotions are going around, we're like throwing insults at the TV, whatever. Every NFL fan does it. True NFL fans, though, fucking never, ever want for players to go through what happened to Cam Skattebo, regardless of what team they are on. I would not wish that injury on my worst fucking enemy. That shit looked like it hurt like a motherfucker, but honestly, it looked like in the moment that Cam was trying to like just get up, like find somebody to help him up as if like nothing had happened. Either adrenaline was pumping like crazy, or he's one of the toughest sons of bitches in the league, and it could be both at this point. I'm glad, though, that as he was getting carted off the field, the entire Eagles stadium gave him a standing ovation on the way out. Eagles fans get a lot of shit for their, I'll call it, unorthodox passion for the game. But seeing that tremendous level of respect for a division rival, it was heartwarming. It goes to show, while there's different teams, different fan bases, bad blood, history, whatever the case is, that at the end of the day, in those serious, crucial moments, we can come together in support of one another and of the players that we watch, no matter what team they're on. Additionally, it was reported that Eagles head of security Dom DeSandro visited Cam in the hospital and brought him pizza and cheesesteaks while checking up on him. Now, people are like, oh, you can't eat those immediately after surgery. Well, no shit. But it's the gesture and the thought and the dedication to making sure that a fellow NFL employee, if you will, is safe and is doing well after such a horrific injury. This really embodied Philly's motto of the city of brotherly love. All across the internet, people are debating whether Zach Bond's tackle was considered a hip drop tackle or not. And for those who are new to football, a hip drop tackle is an illegal tackling tactic. And I have my own thoughts on that. But at the end of the day, those debates don't really matter in comparison to the urgency for Cam's health and player safety as a whole. It sucks that Skattebo's phenomenal rookie season is unfortunately going to be cut short, but I love the heart and the level of competition and the talent that he's got, especially towards division rivals, and I wish him the best of luck during his recovery, and we hopefully we will see him back on the field by week 1 of next year. All right, y'all, let's take some time to look at some of our takeaways from this week 8 victory. First things first, and this might be an obvious to everybody, but officiating was fucking horrible for both teams and has been for the league entirely. Listen, there may have been calls that benefited the Eagles, one notably being the missed call on a fumble. I get that. However, there were plenty of missed calls that benefited the Giants as well. For example, the refs blew the whistle during Jake Elliott's field goal attempt from 48 yards, and then the refs just offer no fucking explanation or any explanation that the announcers can report to the fans watching, and then it just didn't get re-kicked. Like, it was just a whistle, nothing happened, and they moved on to a fucking commercial. Like, what happened there? And why did Philly not get the chance to re-kick it? We just don't know, because they didn't give us any fucking answers. And then on another play, you had not one, but 2 Giants offensive linemen definitely getting away with holds, including one where one of them tackled Nakobe Dean to the ground, and the other held Jalen Carter around his neck. And that was a play that resulted in an immediate Cam Scatterby touchdown. They were holding him, Jackson Dart passed, and Cam Scatterby caught it in the end zone. You're telling me you can't see those 2 obvious fucking holds? Then there was a missed horse collar tackle on a Giants DB after he attempted to tackle wide receiver Xavier Gibson literally by the fucking head and neck in front of a referee. No flag, nothing. And then, of course, you have the classic missed holding calls that negatively impacted us too. They happen all across the league to all teams. It happens. Now, I get why Giants fans are upset, because mistakes from the refs took away some crucial opportunities for them. However, penalties that were missed that hurt the Eagles were on actual scoring plays as well, such as the field goal and the Scatterby touchdown. But at the end of the day, this is just going to be another one of those arguments about shitty refs, ones that fans of all teams across the league have had, yet nothing will get done about it. It'll be talked about for a week, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks or so, and then something else will come up in the league that'll be the new hot topic that everyone develops some kind of unoriginal opinion about. But the point is that officiating was really shitty for both teams, and I hope that the league does something to resolve this league-wide referee issue. Next takeaway, Saquon Barkley isn't back. He never left. Saquon Barkley, after not looking like his 2024 self, gave the Birds and the NFL what they've been waiting for, and that was a breakout game. Almost 200 total yards and 2 total touchdowns on the day. It was clear that Barkley was one of the key contributors to this victory. A lot of people were saying Saquon's back or similar versions of that. However, I don't believe he ever left. He was just finally let off the leash. Kevin Patullo had been holding our run game back through the first 7 weeks. I mentioned it needed to be done in the sense of spicing up this run game, and it looks like he finally did. Saquon, from a talent perspective, did not regress. He and other players such as Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown, they've just been held back by a rookie offensive coordinator who's still learning the ropes of being an NFL play caller. Now that we're seeing some improvement from Patullo's end, it allows the true talent that had always been there with Saquon and the other players to become more obvious. A 65-yard carry for a touchdown on the second play of the game and Saquon's first touch of the game gave some vibes of the playoff games from last year where he was just breaking multiple 60-plus yard touchdown rushes. Hell of a job to Saquon. Hopefully his groin injury isn't too severe so that he can return after the bye week. Next takeaway, Tank Bigsby lives up to his name. Holy shit. Where did that come from? Because in weeks 1 through 7, both with Jacksonville and Philadelphia, Bigsby only had 6 total carries for 23 yards. And he destroys those stats in one game by having 9 carries for 104 yards. As a running back 2, not even the starting running back, the backup running back. That shit was amazing, y'all. Similar with Saquon, adjustments in the run game allowed for our backs to make plays, but this was more than just making plays. Bigsby was dragging motherfuckers with him on runs, obtaining yards after contact as well as averaging almost 12 yards a carry on the game. He converted on a 2nd and 31. Hell, he had like 20 to 25 yards after contact after getting hit like 5 yards out on that run. The dude went beast mode. After being quiet throughout most of the year, this could help fuel motivation for Bigsby to earn more reps and potentially excel himself into a full-time running back 2 role. And if that's the case, and Bigsby continues this path of momentum, the Eagles' run game could look absolutely fucking dominant. An incredible job from Tank Bigsby. Next takeaway. Our 3rd down efficiency still needs some fucking work. I'm not sure if it's just Jackson Dart's ability to extend the play, but I think it's more so our 3rd down defense is just very vulnerable for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's mainly on plays where the QB has time to extend the play. The Giants converted 10 of their 24 3rd down opportunities, while the Eagles' offense only managed to squeeze 6 3rd down conversions off 23 attempts. We let the Vikings convert 7 of their 15 3rd downs the week before. And you might think, Michael, that's less than half of their total 3rd down attempts being converted. And you'd be right. However, a lot of those 3rd down conversions are occurring at midfield or deeper into Eagles territory and have allowed scores just a few plays later. The Birds have been letting teams convert not just on 3rd downs, but on crucial 3rd downs, on red zone 3rd downs. And this is the bigger issue. Vic Fangio has got to get down to business and figure out a way to fix this soon. My final takeaway after this game: the tush push will definitely be banned next year. Look, y'all, I'll be honest. We got away with that fumble on the play. Y'all know the one that I'm talking about. Plus, with the popularity of the Eagles that leads to more nationally televised games and all the controversy that has circulated around the tush push, I feel like next year it's going to be banned, whether we like it or not. Which to me is still stupid because every single team can do it. Last year, owners wanted to ban the play due to player safety, even though there wasn't any tangible evidence that it was any more or less dangerous than every other single play. While this year, the reason will be that it's too hard to officiate, which to a degree, I can honestly understand. And that no fumble call was a perfect example of it. I feel like that is going to be a more legitimate reason that will persuade other owners who voted no last time maybe to change their vote to ban it next year. And they'll add something in about false starts too, even though all across the league there are missed false starts calls everywhere. But anyway, if they ban it, the Eagles will just find another way to win because that's what they do. Sometimes it takes fucking forever to find a solution to a problem, but nonetheless, they find a solution. And I feel like we've run the tush push at a far less rate this year than we have had in previous few years. It's not like the play is the sole reason for the Birds winning. The roster is talented. Jalen Hurts is one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL right now. His stats show that he's on like an MVP track. We have some of the best wide receivers in the league right now. There's evidence of strong run games and strong passing games. There's many different reasons that the Eagles win the games that they do. So if the tush push gets banned, so be it. The Eagles have other ways of winning, and they'll find additional ways as well. Banning the tush push won't save the rest of the league. All right, y'all, to end this episode, we're going into a bye week. So we won't be playing this Sunday, and the next time we'll play will be the following Monday in Week 10, where we have a Monday night matchup against Micah Parsons, Jordan Love, and the Green Bay Packers. So, of course, that means we don't have any predictions or can really talk about strategies for the upcoming game on Sunday because we don't have one. But we will have those along with any other bye week and Eagles news on next week's episode. All right, y'all, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok by searching at 2nd and 15, or by the full name, Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast. You can find the audio for each and every single episode releasing Thursday mornings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Player FM, Deezer, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get your podcasts, with the video uploading to YouTube later that same day. This episode, Second and 15, and Old City Sports Network are brought to you by Warlord Beard Oil. Use promo code OLDSPORTS, all caps, at warlordbeardoil.com for 15% off your beard oils, washes, soaps, and many other products. They're a veteran-owned company with amazing products, so check out Warlord Beard Oil products at warlordbeardoil.com today. Orders over $75 will get you free shipping. Once again, thanks y'all for joining in. This is Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network. We'll see y'all next week after a much-needed bye. Hopefully a lot of our injured players get the chance to heal up and get back on the field. And maybe we'll see a special player come off of IR. Who knows? We will see you all then. Don't forget to stay fly like an eagle. And as always, go Birds!